Also, you have to consider that this is the type of exercise to sort of like understand the geometries, right? If we go
Mhm.
to reality, yeah, it might be shading different way. Not this way, because it'll shade this way if the lighting is coming from this way. So I'm imagining the light coming from the side view, right? If it's coming from the
Mhm.
front, yeah, the shading is gonna change, right?
Exactly.
What are your thoughts in here? Like what's the thing you struggle, or what is the thing that you want to touch base on?
Um, I tried to copy the McLaren P1 and try to mix with my
Mm.
uh, drawing.
Okay. How long you been sketching?
I'm sketching from my child, but about professional about 1 year. Not
1 year.
professional, but I try to improve myself about 1 year.
Yeah, okay. So this is the so this is what you do in classes, I assume?
Yes.
Yeah, because I can see the paper. All right. So first things first. It's not a bad sketch. I mean, it's you said you're trying to mimic some of the stuff out there, which is it's a good start, I would say. First thing that caught my eye is don't try to vectorize all your lines, right? This is the first sort of like thing that you need to get away from your system, right? What I mean with this is you have shapes here that are just like all the way vectorized, right? All the way, like every single shape that you have here is closed, right? Every single one. You see, that's what I mean. Every single shape that there's no thick to thin here, right? You need to have a thick to thin, and you need to be able to banish lines, right? To disappear, right? And all your lines are just connected, right? It's like
I
me,
understand.
yeah. So I would say just try to do that exercise first, right? If I was going to correct your car, let's say we can correct the wheels just like that, right? Okay, let's say wheels are correct, right? And then if I was going to do the volumes, I would probably do something like this, where we're gonna have this line here, right? But then probably I'll banish it there, right? And I'm not gonna, you see, like I would not go here and touch it, right? I would just like make it disappear over here, just right here. So the same way, if this is like a very basic like example, like I'm giving you a simple exercise so you can just practice. But in all your cars, where the bigger lines are, the main lines, just try to do this exercise where you're just gonna draw it, sketch it, right? And banish it, right? So you're gonna banish the line here and here, right? What it's going to give you is more like a volume with thus it's not too vectorized, right? It doesn't end on peaks like that, right? Because you're closing all the lines, right? And the sketch it doesn't look that dynamic, right? That fresh. Same with this one, right? Just practice that one for now, right? You do this, you do this like that, right? Same from the bottom, you draw another line at the bottom, right? And where the focal point is, you're gonna put more intensity, I would say, right? So you want to put details, make sure those are just like details. It's not the whole car, just like that, you see? Like it's a closed shape, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be connected with this guy and connected with this guy and this guy connected here and this guy connected here, because it's gonna just make your whole shapes just very, very 2D. That's a problem. If you want to make 3D shapes, you need to be more loose, thick to thin, and try to disappear because these lines are gonna communicate volumes. These lines don't communicate just like 2D lines all the way, right? So it's volumes. Same with this guy, right? Same over here, right? And if you think about it, it's exactly the same sketch. I'm not even changing that much, right? Just to show you that example, right? Let's say you have another line here, another line here, right? Just like that, right? You see? It's exactly the same sort of a line work that you had, but I'm just apply thick to thin and I'm trying not to connect all the lines, right? So let's say you have a lamp, McLaren lamp, right? Right. Second thing is, first is the lines, second is section lines. Just try to do a section line. You can be just do one or two section lines that look very, that helps you to read the shape, the body side in this case, right? So you need to be able to do a line that goes all the way through the window and maybe goes to the volume, wraps around, goes like that, right? So just in strategic parts, right? Where you're gonna see it here, right? Like that, right? So you read your whole shape, right?
Okay.
So is that clear?
I understand. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
And can I ask a question, please?
Yes.
How can I shade it? I don't know how can I shade it. I just try it to looks good, but
Yeah.
I don't know how to do it.
Okay. Let's go to the I'm just gonna quickly give you an introduction, but if you go to YouTube, the last session, were you here? Last session?
I didn't understand.
Oh, were you here in the last session? This is the second time we met.
First.
Oh, is this the first time? Okay, yeah. So in YouTube, I'll put the link on it on the community. And if you go through the link in YouTube, I was explaining how to shade with simple cylinders, right? Where you have shading like that, right? This is a section of a cylinder, right? Are you familiar with primitive shapes with cylinders, cones, spheres, and all that? Are you familiar?
Not too much.
Okay. So let's say this is a section of a cylinder, right? And basically every shape that you have here mostly is a section of a cylinder, right? Every single shape that you have here is a section of a cylinder, right? So I would say just start simple, right? Let's say if I have a cylinder like that, you can literally start with this exercise, right? You have a shading, right? Like that, right? Dark at the front and vanish, fade away through this on the sides, right? So if you do that here with the same logic, right? Just try to start like that, right? This is going to be give you a nice foundation on shading, but it doesn't mean like that the shading is perfect, right? But it gives you something to work on, right? And this is what you need, right? So let's say on the body side, you just sort of follow the shape, right? And if you want to shade, just do this, like a cylinder, and just start like that, right? I'm just trying to break it down for you and just like, it's just simple where you just like go through here, right? Here, through here. And that's how you're gonna start shading. From the hood, same thing. You're gonna grab the hood and you're gonna shade just like that. This is like the most basic exercise just to begin to shade, right? Just imagine everything is a section of a cylinder and you just like shade everything as a cylinder in certain areas, right? Not everything, but in certain areas. If you look closer, this guy is a cylinder too, right? A section. So what you're gonna do is same. You're gonna shade here, right? Just like that, and it's gonna look round automatically, right? Because you just need to observe that. Cylinders, 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 right? Front, the roof, cabin, same logic, right? If you try to do all this type of shading in all your designs, by default, in automatic, your designs are gonna look better because it's following logic of shading, right? You see how it looks more, has more volumes just by applying that logic.
Sorry,
So
Omar.
yeah,
For example, in the rooftop area, isn't it going into the other direction?
that depends of the lighting.
Okay.
Yeah, because right now I'm imagining that the lighting goes this way. So the lighting is coming from the top, right? And also you have to consider that this is the type of exercise to sort of like understand the geometries, right? If we go to reality, yeah, it might be shading different way. Not this way, because it'll shade this way if the lighting is coming from this way. So I'm imagining the light coming from the side view, right? If it's coming from the front, yeah, the shading is gonna change, right?
Okay.
So it really depends on the on what are you doing with the shade, like where is the light, right? So let's say, for the sake of an argument, for showing, let's say the light is coming from this way, right? So then, oops. So then there's now the shading will be maybe this way, right? That's what you meant, right? Like this?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. If the shading is the lighting is changing direction. Yeah. Probably. Okay, where is it? Try to find this guy. Okay, there you go. So yeah, then you will have shapes like that, right? Who's putting check marks on my screen? Yeah. So as I said, it all depends direction of the light, right? That's why in some of my sketches, when I do it, some of them are like shading a little bit different, but it's because of that, right? If I was going to do for example, the hood in here, I will shade it like that, roughly, right? You see, I will shade it this way, right? Because then the light is coming here. So it means this reads like a cylinder that goes, or cylinder in general, right? But a surface that bends, right? And the surface at some point has to have a chord. And that's why I'm shading that way, right? But yeah, it all depends. So light moves very differently. You can play around with that. This is just a way to show form. That's it. This is just show form, right? It shows that surfaces are like that, right? So, and Halil, just think about that. Think about all the cars are just little sections of cylinders, and you're just gonna shade them accordingly. That's it.